Let me say a big shout out to SSS. Punal, you are appreciated. Thank you, Ralph, for raising our vibration with knowledge and light. Unity is key to prevail over all the evil, fear, and the lies. The Matrix is cooked. Can I get a hello there, love from El Paso? Hey, you are appreciated. Hey, peace. Infinite Waters diving deep once again. Shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers. I woke up like this, all magical and fly, just whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. I feel so much better now, deep divers. We can take our time. Take that Hadouken. Take all of that good ass energy I'm sending you. Let me say a big shout out to everybody who's joined the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart. You're most definitely appreciated. Also, some good news, deep divers. Feel Alive Part 2 is already complete. Feel Alive Part 2 is already written, is finished, and get ready for it in 2025. You're going to love it. In the meantime, check out the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the-book, The Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version. And the latest book, the Book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart at ralphsmart.com/the-book, The Secret Recipe to Becoming Your Greatest Version. Go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts, deep divers, all new designs you're going to love for men, women, children, even cats down the road. And if you're a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart, you want to model the clothing, well, go and buy some. And if you want a one-to-one consultation with me so I can help you become your greatest version, make sure you book it at ralphsmart.com/one-to-one. One-to-one sessions. Deep divers, look, let's talk about it. The Matrix is collapsing super fast. It's over. The Matrix is cooked. It's cooked, right? And we're going to talk about it from the beginning. Okay, I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support the real, share this video. Hit that like button right now if you support the real, share this video. And if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation you're about to be celebrating something major soon. If you're ready for that, just say thank you. Now, so many things have been happening, deep divers, and a lot of people agree that something strange is happening on the planet, right? We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're not going to censor anything. The gloves are coming off and we're about to take a deep dive. We got a whole lot to talk about and we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? First and foremost, let me shout out to everyone in the chat. Deep divers, we are live. Look, shout out to everyone in the chat. We're back. We never left, deep divers. And we're going to talk about it. So first and foremost, the Matrix is collapsing super fast. You see, with so many things happening in the world right now, everything we're seeing is actually a symptom. When we talk about empires collapsing, the music industry collapsing, moguls being dethroned, what's happening? All of this is symbolic that the Matrix is collapsing. And when you remind yourself, deep divers, we're in a time right now where you can run, but you can't hide forever. You can run, but you can't hide forever. We're in a time right now, what was done in the dark will come out in the light. What was done in the dark will come out in the light. You know, I was doing the live stream on Sunday. And as I was doing the live stream, a lot of people were typing and they were putting in the comment section, hey, Ralph, take a look at this. They're starting to accuse Jay-Z. And I tell you that Jay-Z is innocent until proven guilty. But this is all symbolic because the Matrix is collapsing super fast. You see, once upon a time, people used to love these celebrities. People used to worship these celebrities. And even when you take a look at how the public are viewing these celebrities in the Matrix, they're starting to look at them sideways like, this has never been done before. It's unheard of. And so many people now are starting to wake up that actually a lot of the celebrities in the Matrix have been gatekeepers, and they've been hiding the truth from you. And this is all part of how the Matrix is collapsing super fast. This is all part of how it's over. And the Matrix is cooked. Because you see, when you don't talk to your audience, when you're afraid of your audience, what happens? It's almost as if you're shooting yourself in the foot and you don't have any feet to stand on. And this is what we see, that a lot of those celebrities in the Matrix, their own audience is turning against them. Right? Beyonce has lost so many followers. All of these things happening. J-Lo doesn't even respond to people. Why am I telling you this? Because this is all symbolic of how the Matrix is collapsing. Even those so-called celebrities in the Matrix, because once again, you are the real celebrities, deep divers. But even those so-called celebrities in the Matrix, they're afraid of their own audience. Because there's been a turning of the tide. Right now, huge energetic shifts are happening. Solar flares are happening. People are starting to wake up like they've never woken up before, and their eyes are starting to open. And as time goes on, more and more things are going to be revealed. You see, I'm not the only one. You should check out Sloan Bella, who was making these predictions even about Diddy way before it happened. And all of her predictions came true. Because you see, all of this is symbolic of how the Matrix is collapsing. The industry is collapsing. People who are in positions of power in the industry are now being dethroned because people are starting to say, okay, how did you get there? You see, you might just see the success, but now people want to know, okay, how did you get there? What did you have to do to get there? And as people are waking up, people are realizing a lot of people had to sell their souls to get there. Slow motion this side. And that's the reason why Mark 8:36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Right? And this is powerful because those words, you don't even have to be religious. I'm not religious, but those words are so powerful. This is what people are waking up to. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You see, what's happening right now on the planet with it being over, it's almost as if the DJ has stopped the music. And for the first time, people are starting to listen. For the first time, it's gotten very quiet, deep divers, right? Shout out to all of you deep divers. Let's get this show started. Like I told you, I want to hear from you. I want to read your comments. Let's get this show started and let's go.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. It's a choice. So happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want. It's a choice. Freedom is a must. We have to become the spirit.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Laurie Fitz, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. You are most definitely appreciated. And shout out to everyone who's here, Deep Divers. So we got a lot to talk about. And like I told you, we're going to take our time because there's no greater feeling to know that so many people right now on the planet are finding their true power, finding their true strength. And shout out to everyone who's here. So it's over. The Matrix is cooked. It is cooked. And so many people right now on the planet realize this. Why is the Matrix cooked first and foremost? Because people are outgrowing it. And one thing you've got to remind yourself of, Deep Divers, is that everything happens in cycles. 20 years ago, it was a cycle of ignorance. It was a cycle of lies. It was a cycle of being kept in the dark. And if you were on that side, you would be extremely successful. Many people made millions, tens of millions, out of people's fears and out of their ignorance. And many people were enjoying the life, the good life. At the same time, the chickens have come home to roost. What we're seeing right now is not about a particular person. It's about a whole entire energy shift that's happening right now on the planet. And we've got to remind ourselves, it's not people that are making this whole system, this whole matrix get cooked. It's something energetic that's happening. So one thing you've got to remind yourself of is that there's a program in the matrix that goes like, as you are at the top, other people want you to fail. Other people want you to fall. And you had the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, and Kendrick won, but people wanted to see Drake lose because Drake always wins, right? And in the Matrix, you've got to remind yourself there's a program where all of the people at a certain level in the Matrix are now being questioned how they got there. They're now being questioned, okay, did you get there through hard work, or did you get there through covert means? And many people are realizing that actually many people, to get to that place, had to sell their soul. And this is the reason why the Matrix is cooked, because many people realize that right now, people don't want to sell their souls. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And this is the reason why the matrix is cooked. Because there's two ways that you can do it. You can do the work like Ralph Smart, or you can ask someone to help you get to the finish line. And many people do that. But what they don't tell you is that there's a small print. In return, your soul is mine. And right now, we've got to remind ourselves that everything that was done in the dark is coming to the light. Gen Z are aware that the matrix is cooked. They don't want no part of it. They're trying to get away from you. They're trying to get away from you because they realize that society has messed up. And even the media is cooked. Do you know that the mainstream media outlets are losing followers, losing subscribers, losing viewers every single day? Because people are listening to podcasts instead. People, they want alternative news. They want the truth. They want an unbiased view. They don't want corporate sponsorships, corporate sponsors. They don't want an agenda when they listen to something. And that's the reason why the matrix is cooked. Because for the first time, you have people who are witnessing. This is the Tower of Babel, right? Witnessing the whole of Babylon fall. And it's falling fast. It's falling very fast. What would you do to be famous? What would you do to have all the money in the world? What would you do to have all the attention in the world? In today's generation, a lot of people are willing to do anything, even if it means sacrificing their own soul. There was a story I came across, Deep Divers. It was highly disturbing. There was a woman who slept with 100 guys in one day. I'm a psychologist. I'm a counselor. So I could see that the matrix is cooked because what's happened is a lot of people are chasing attention, and attention is a terrible drug. And when people lose their morals, when people have no values, you start to live in Sin City. So what's happened is that people are going to do anything for attention. And when you do anything for attention, it means that your soul is for sale. So this woman's name was Lily Phillips, 23-year-old from the UK. And I said, okay, here she's actually breaking down. She's crying to say, you know what? It was terrible. You know, she was shocked. She thought she could handle it. She couldn't handle it. And this was to put on her OnlyFans. Now, if you want to do OnlyFans, go for it. But you see, after this, she said, okay, the next record is 1,000 in a day. It's over. The matrix is cooked. Because when you have people, you see, one thing you've got to remind yourself of, Deep Divers, is that people have a choice. People can choose what they want to do. And yes, you can say, you know, she's got bad friends. It's not about her friends. It's about what you're personally choosing. And people have trauma. When you don't heal trauma, it leads you to doing things which you're going to regret when you're 50 years old. It leads you to doing things which you're going to regret when you're going to have to tell your children about what you had to do. But when it's happening, at first you say, I'm really sorry. That was a terrible experience. But afterwards you're like, hey, let's go again. Because you see, the attention economy that the world has become is not slowing down. Infinite Heaven, shout out to you. Thank you for speaking the truth and for guidance. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me shout out to you because you're always supporting the show. Shout out to you, Infinite Heavens. Right? So, you want to pay attention. I had to pay attention to that story because I realized that that's only the tip of the iceberg. They don't care. When you have the Gen Z, the younger generation who don't care, who are going to do anything, that's when you know the Matrix is cooked. And you've got to remind yourself, you're in Sin City. You're in Sin City. And the only way out is in. You see, shout out to all the people who use their platform just to spread a message, just to help other people, just to do the right thing, because it's almost as if you're going against the current, you're going against the tide. But the good news is that you're the smart ones, because you see, what's happened is that it's falling. It's falling fast. And the seeds that you plant right now will be what you reap in times to come. It could have been me. When I look at other people, I said it could have been me. If my head wasn't on straight, if I didn't have the guidance, the intuition, I could have also sold my soul. I could have signed a deal. There are so many people out there who sign a deal they want to get out of, a contract. Right? You might even sign a contract at your work for 3 years or whatever it is. And you're like, gosh, I wish I didn't sign that. You got to be careful about what you sign. Let me shout out to Nicholas K in the house. You're most definitely appreciated. That's a Nicholas K. One love, deep divers. Keep the vibes high and remember to do something today that you can thank yourself for tomorrow. Keep it up, brother. Hey, I had to go live, deep divers. Shout out to Nicholas K. You're most definitely appreciated. And shout out to everyone who's here. Oh, deep divers. We're going to turn up right now. So, we are in tremendous times of change. Now, as I was telling you, it's not everyone who is successful who had to sell their soul. Just because Jay-Z is a billionaire, it doesn't mean he's guilty of what they accused him of, right? Because he's like, hey, let's go to trial then, right? So you have to be careful because once again, just because someone says something about you doesn't mean it's true. We've got to remind ourselves, I'm a criminologist. It's always innocent until proven guilty. But you see, what's happened with the energy dynamics is that there's a court of public opinion. See, there's two courts. There's a criminal court, then there's a court of public opinion. And the reason why things have changed, things have shifted is because people now are kind of bringing up what they've always thought about someone. It doesn't matter even if they don't have the evidence. They're saying, hey, you're guilty. Hey, because you see, what's happened is that when you have these celebrities, people like Beyonce, who people loved, and all of these people, when you have her own audience on her Instagram going at her, that's crazy. Because it's showing you that these people always wanted to say that. And people are now not worshiping false idols. This is all symbolic because, you see, something has happened on the planet. Ever since the pandemic, which happened in 2020, people started to get their vision back. People started to wake up. People started to realize that actually we're all in a matrix. We're all in a matrix. And the more you dive deeper, the more you realize it's about finding a way out. It's about finding a way out. It's about finding a way to be free. Because the truth is, you were born a slave. Freedom is not free. Someone told you, hey, freedom is free. No, freedom costs. You got to pay a lot of money for your freedom. You got to be smart to get your freedom. And most of all, nobody is going to give you your freedom. You have to take it. And a lot of people are now realizing, say, oh my gosh, I want to be free. Most people die at 25. Most people die at 25 and don't get buried until 75. People are now waking up to this reality. That's the good news. People are saying, you know what? I want to find out who I really am. Uh-oh, game over. Once you start connecting within, you start tapping into the secret. There's a reason why there's a whole agenda to make sure you don't have time with yourself. Ever notice that everything is always rushed? You're always in a hurry. You've never got time, because if you have time, you're going to start tapping into the secret. Deep divers, hit that like button right now if you support The Real. Share the video. Smash that like button right now if you support The Real. Share the video. So, this is a great artist who kind of summed up today's generation. And the man is walking the dog. The dog is walking the cat. Is that the cat down the road? The cat down the road is walking the hamster. But who is walking the man? The smartphone. And we are all slaves to this device. And they call it a device because it's a vice. You see, these tools, this technology is fantastic once you use it. But the problem is, a lot of people have become addicted to it. And what's happened is, now, instead of using it, it's now using you. And this is a big issue, a big problem. I told you that there's something called character AI. And character AI is all about, you can have these avatars which are almost lifelike. And there are teenagers all around the world, adults as well, who are talking to these avatars, which are not human, but they're artificial intelligence. So much to the point where one boy actually took his life because his mum was saying he just got so addicted to this character AI. So it's time to wake up. You see, the 3D, 5D split is real. The 3D, 5D split is real. And right now, we have to pay attention to what's happening. There's a lot of great things happening as well. One of the biggest things that's happening right now is that the veil is being lifted. Once again, Jay-Z is innocent until proven guilty. Even Diddy is innocent until proven guilty. But using this as symbolism, that the industry, which even me, I looked up to say, oh my gosh, these are billionaires, this, that. I'm starting to look at it sideways and say, wait a second. Because I realize that not everything that glitters is gold. And you see, what they don't tell you is that even the people in the Matrix, the celebrities that you worship, they're not at the top. They're just pawns on the board. And when their time is up, their time is up. And that's the reason why you might see someone flossing, flexing on the gram, this, that. But how did they get it? What did they have to do to get there? Did they do it with their own hard work? Did they do it through integrity? Or did they do it on dumbing down other people to get where they are and then forget like nothing ever happened? Well, you see, everything that was done in the dark will come back to bite you in 20 years' time. So this is all part of karma, universal karma, and also showing us that actually it's not these people who wanted to expose themselves or other people who wanted to expose them. It's the universe that said, you know what, time is up. It's time for the righteous to prevail. And this is what you're seeing. You know, a lot of people think that this was a part of the script when it really wasn't. These people have been protected for a long time because they signed covenants and all kind of things. But the universe always decides. You know, there's a saying, man makes plans, God decides. Slow motion this side. And when the universe can see that actually the power that I've given you, you haven't been using it right, the universe can take it away. No one is exempt from that. It doesn't matter how much money you have, the car you drive, the house you live in. If you abuse the gift you were given, the universe is going to spank you in the ass. So even me, I say, okay, I've been given this gift. I have to use it in the right way. I could get on this platform every single day, just put out videos to dumb your ass down, all kind of nonsense. But the universe said, hey, Ralph, if you do that, I'm going to have to spank your ass too. I'm under a strict code of conduct and under a strict jurisdiction of the universe, from the universe. I've got to abide by rules and laws and regulations from the universe because no one is exempt. You see, what happens is that a lot of people think that what they do, they can throw rocks and hide their hand. But you see, everything happens in a cycle. And this is the reason why it's over. The Matrix is cooked because everything that people were doing in the dark is now coming out into the light. And we're in the time, like Cat Williams said on the Shannon Sharp show, the age of truth is upon us. The age of Aquarius is upon us. And we're in a time right now where people are going to find out the truth. People are going to find out the truth. And you're going to have debates. You're going to see people's side, this side, you're going to see that side, and you're going to decide. Because we're in a time right now where no one has sole authority over the truth. It's out there for the open, in the open, for everyone to see and decide for themselves what they want to believe in. And this is the exciting time right now. Because many things you thought were true, people are now waking up to say, actually, wait a second. Let me rethink that. Wait a second. And we're in a very powerful time right now. The Matrix is cooked, deep divers. The cat down the road is like, it's cooked. You know, it's so amazing that right now, people are looking at even news and all of these things in a whole different way. Right? Because people can see through it. And once you begin to see through things, you begin to enter a whole new world, a whole new reality, a whole new dimension. People are seeing through it into something else. And this is what's happening. This is what's happening. People are seeing through it. For the longest time, people could only see so far. You could only see as far as the music industry, the entertainment industry, Hollywood, all of these things. Now people are seeing through it into something even greater than that. So you're now realizing there's levels to this shit. And it's something so powerful that most people can't even fathom it. And that's why I tell you, I don't put my trust in man. I put my trust in God. I put my trust in the universe, because there's levels to this. You see, a lot of what you see happening in the Matrix is the physical. But what is really happening is actually in the unseen realm. And that's the reason why a lot of people in the industry, they're also aware of the occult. Occult is a word for hidden. All of the people like Shakespeare, they were occultists. They were bards. In England, the people who could write, who could cast spells, had the power. There's a reason why Shakespeare introduced over 1,500 words into the English language. Shakespeare was incredibly powerful because he had something which most people at that time didn't have, the ability to write, communicate, and cast spells. And it was only a secret, only a few people who could really do that. And till this day, if you're good with words, you can almost, and no, not almost, you can create your own reality. Someone like an MC, a musician, someone like a Jay-Z, extremely powerful, because what he's doing is taking lead, turning it into gold. Any artist that does that, they write it down, they turn lead into gold, and they manifest whatever they want. And this power has only been among a few people for a long time. But what's happened is that we're in the information age. Other people are finding out about this power. They also want to sit on the throne. They also want to be powerful. And they can be powerful. In the film The Matrix, which was actually a documentary, and Will Smith was supposed to play the Neo in The Matrix. He said, "Nah, I don't want to play it." He said, "Biggest regret of my life." So you had Keanu Reeves, right? Who was a good cast, who was a good actor for that role. But in The Matrix, Neo realized that Mr. Anderson had no power. That was the guy who was going to work every single day and, doing everything he was told to do and all of these things. But he used to go to bed wondering what's going on. And they told him to follow the white rabbit. That was all symbolic to say, wait a second. Each and every one of us, we have two lives we're living. I told you. There was the old Ralph Smart. This is the new one. There's the old version of yourself, which might even be your current reality, but there's a better future waiting for you. And once you remind yourself that a lot of people are like Hancock, they're like a god in amnesia. But once they have the right information, once they have the right knowledge, it's game over. And this is what's happening right now on the planet. It's over. The Matrix is cooked. Once you start finding out about the other versions of yourself. Because you see, each and every one of us has infinite number of versions of ourselves. You see, when you take a look at the concept of life, life is not something static. Life is forever changing. When you meet someone, you say, oh my gosh, they have changed. Of course they're supposed to change. You can either stay the same or you can evolve. You got two choices, right? So no one is supposed to be staying the same in this thing. Everyone's supposed to be evolving. You're supposed to meet someone on Friday. By Monday, they're a whole different person. Got a whole new mindset. And this is what's happened right now on the planet, right? People are evolving. People are evolving. People are changing. Hey, let me say a big shout out to RPAC. Hey, you are appreciated. The cat down the road is your true self. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Shout out to all the deep divers who are here. Hit that like button, deep divers. Share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers. Share the video. And let me also know what's on your mind. The Matrix is cooked. It's over. So, there's a split happening right now. And it's crazy because it's a timeline split. I've spoken about it. And this split between the 3D and the 5D is happening right now on the planet. You see, there has been a centralization of information for the longest time. Since time immemorial, information has been kept in a vault. Only a few people had access to the right information, the true information, and the information that could really change their lives. This is now accessible to every human being on the planet. This has never been done before. It's unprecedented. Now people can really find out what they want to find out, empower themselves, and become incredibly powerful. And this is the reason why the Matrix is cooked. Because people are now hacking into it. People are now finding out how it works. People are now studying it. They're starting to see the glitch in the Matrix. They're starting to see the deja vus. They're starting to say, wait a second, things aren't making sense. The Matrix hey, chosen one, Renee, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. So, for the longest time, how the Matrix controlled people was through a cyclical cycle, and it was through a loop, right? And this is how a lot of people were under hypnosis. So when you have people like Paul McKenna hypnotizing people, you have to keep them in a loop back mechanism, until eventually they forget who they really are. They become a whole different person. They start repeating stuff. Ever seen those hypnotism programs? Someone starts, meowing like the cat down the road. They start acting like a dog or whatever it is they want them to act like. It's like they lose sense of self, and they keep doing that until someone says, hey, stop. And then they stop. They snap out of it. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I was doing. Now, anytime you've seen those programs about hypnosis, you're like, okay, because I used to watch those programs and think they could never do that to me. And you're right. Certain people, they can't hypnotize, but there are people that can be under hypnosis. So when you remind yourself that many people can easily be programmed, manipulated, and hypnotized. And for the longest time, this is how the Matrix has been in operation. By knowing there is a percentage of the population who are NPCs, non-playable character. There's a percentage of this population on this planet who are NPCs. And if you tell them to do something, they're going to do it. Go here, they're going to go there. Go there, go there. So it's very easy to control them. But there are also people on this planet who cannot be controlled. There are people on this planet who know exactly who they are, and they know what time it is. And a lot of these people have always been awake. It's not that they started to awaken a few years ago. They've always known that being free is their birthright. They've always known that they're here for a greater purpose than they were told by society. Now, what's happening is that even the NPCs are starting to wake up. Uh-oh. Even the people who are fast asleep, the NPCs, they're now starting to wake up. This is the reason why there's a huge disruption in the Matrix code. Because these people were never supposed to wake up. These people were always supposed to be subservient and following whatever Simon told them to do. These people are now waking up. And that's why I told you, I never underestimate anybody. I never see someone and say, okay, they're a sheep. You know why? Because they can evolve into a wolf with the right information. And this is what's happening. There are people I knew a few years ago, they were fast asleep. They're like, Ralph, I know so much right now. I started to dive deep, do my own research, and they're a totally changed person. It's just that the wool was pulled over their eyes. They couldn't see, now they can. And once they have that information, there's no going back. So it's everyone's destiny to truly find out who they really are and to truly wake up. This is what the Matrix is. This is what coming out of it looks like. So, why is the Matrix cooked? Because people are seeing, when they see the news, this is what they see. When they see celebrities who dumb them down, this is what they see. And that's the reason why it's cooked. If you haven't already, check out a film called They Live. So, Roddy Piper puts on these glasses. He starts to see these news reporters like this. He starts to see subliminal messages in billboards. Obey, conform, do this, do that. And once that happens, there's no going back. So we're in a time right now where people are starting to get it. We're also in a time right now where people are going to push it. People are going to do things. And because you see, there's a big battle happening. I told you that there's a force. The inorganic ones still want to trap as many souls as possible. And they want to make sure that they normalize certain activities and behaviors. So this woman is called Lily Phillips. Now, she said she slept with 100 guys in one day in Notting Hill, filmed it, put it on her OnlyFans, but here she's breaking down saying, okay, I didn't really, it was really hard, it's really intense, it's not for weak girls. But then afterwards she said, okay, I'm going to do 1,000 men in 24 hours. I'm going to beat the record. Now, this is someone who needs some help. But it's also someone who is there to create a normal behavior among Gen Z. So this is how also the Matrix operates. It finds certain people and then it says, okay, do this. People say, oh, wow. Because you see, you got to remind yourself, when you're shocked, it still caught your attention. That's the whole plan of the game. You got to do things so shocking, so outrageous that it makes people say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that." But they're tuning in. They want to find out more. And then the younger children who see this behavior are like, "You know what? She's a multimillionaire. She made millions of dollars on OnlyFans." There was a girl on OnlyFans who came out saying she made $43 million in a year. A lot of people said that's cap. But you better believe it was a couple of million. So this is how the Matrix works, right? It puts people like Lily Phillips, who really should be getting some help. She can do whatever she wants. Of course she can. Anybody can do whatever they want. But it's way bigger than them. Because you see, people promote it. It now becomes a normality in society. And this is how the inorganic ones turn something sacred into something terrible. And once again, I would actually watch a documentary she did, because I want to always find out, okay, what's going on in the mind of someone like this? And I realized that attention. She didn't get the attention she needed when she was younger. So she seeks the attention. It's not about the act. It's about the attention. She wants attention. And I told you, in the Matrix, this is the drug that celebrities need. You might see a celebrity and say, okay, you got all this wealth. You got all this money. But they're still showing you their children. They're showing you their grandchildren. They're showing you their whole family 24/7 because they need attention. Attention is how they can actually survive. Without attention, they cease to exist. And this is the reason why even how these news outlets work, they also want your attention. Because they know that if you are left with yourself, you're going to tune out and you're going to tune in. So attention is used in the Matrix to distract you from what you should be doing. And I always tell you that if it's not helping you evolve, it's a distraction. Slow motion this side. If it's not helping you evolve, it's a distraction. Nikki, shout out to Nikki. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to Beyond Cycle. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Hi, Ralph. Love your work. I don't know if you've already shared your thoughts concerning Billy Carson's last debate issue. Can you let me know? Shout out to you. Shout out to Billy Carson. Okay. Billy Carson has been on this platform. Good brother. And he got in a debate with Wes, who is a Christian. And, I saw a bit of it. And I think it's good. It's healthy. This is what you want. You want, like I told you, we're in a time where you want people coming with their view. His view. Let's talk about it, because this is how you can educate people. And I always say it's a beautiful thing when people talk and the audience can decide. Billy Carson is someone who really knows his stuff. Wes also knows his stuff. Because I saw a clip about the Bible. He was saying, wait a second. Hey, I got a book right here. Right? So that's good, because what happens is that now the audience can say, okay, well, what Billy is saying is phenomenal. What Wes is saying is also good. Now I have to do my research. You see, a debate is not about people winning. A debate is about opening people's minds to say, okay, I need to do more research. And you can only have a good debate when two people come with strong arguments on both sides. And now you can figure out what the truth is for you. But a debate can't be solved in one day. You have to do your own research. You can't just listen to Billy or Wes. You have to find out for yourself, because now you become empowered and you have to keep listening to other people who are experts in that field. And now you have to draw your own conclusions. So I always say, no one loses in a debate if there's respect and if people realize that actually it's good. Let's talk about it. You know, you want people to question you. You want people to question you. You want people to, challenge you. Because when you're challenged, it now forces you to look at your own material and say, wait a second, he might have a point. You see, people have become so butthurt in debates that they're afraid of saying, okay, he's got a point, but I've got a point, right? So you got to remind yourself everything should be really nuanced, right? But shout out to Billy Carson, because he's someone who is, once again, he's helping humanity wake up. And when you're becoming very big, like he's becoming very big, you're blowing up, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to challenge you on what you're saying. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to say, wait a second, let's debate, Billy, because I don't think what you're talking about is accurate. So you now have to go and say, okay, wait a second, this is my evidence. And you have to realize that as you are growing, you're going to have more people who are going to come out and say, wait a second, I don't think what you're saying is right. And that's good. You want to welcome that, and you want to be able to stand your ground and say, okay, we can talk. Right? And that's the beautiful thing. Deep divers, shout out to all of you. Smash that like button, share the video. Smash that like button, share the video. So it's over. The Matrix is cooked. So as I was saying, in the Matrix, there are so many distractions. And we're in a time right now where Diddy is just the icing, is just the tip of the iceberg, right? And this woman here, Lily Phillips, is creating, she's only a prototype. She's only a prototype because, you see, as time passes, this is going to be the normal behavior among the Gen Z. It's going to be like, oh, that was nothing. So you have to be aware of what's happening. Because when I saw this, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because this is like, okay, whatever. And anytime you realize it's okay, whatever, then you realize that it's over. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. What happens is that, you see, when you start a fire, the only thing left for the fire to consume is itself. And that's what you see happening in the Matrix. The fire is consuming itself. And that means you're going to see some crazy things happening. Some wild things happening. The guy they just caught, Luigi, right? Luigi, who had kind of taken the life of the United CEO health insurance guy, right? So they found a manifesto. They found all kind of things. His friend in Hawaii was saying, oh, he's the nicest guy ever. He was so polite. He was so friendly. He hurt his back when he was surfing. And they had asked him, was that the reason why he went after the CEO guy? And his friend was like, no, he didn't really bring it up that much. But we're in a time right now where, violence is never the answer. Violence is never the right answer. But we're in a time right now where people are going to do things that they feel is right. And it means that you're in a very dangerous time because people have different ideologies. People have different belief systems. And people, they feel what they're doing is justified and it's right, even though it might be the wrong thing to do. And you see a lot of people are getting a wake-up call. A lot of people are realizing even what happened in Syria. The Assad family who had been in power for over 50 years, they were driven out. These are all symbolic timeline changes about what's happening on the planet, that things are being reshuffled. And we're in a time right now where, if you are someone who is out there and you're starting to get some information and, you have to trust yourself and listen to yourself. Because if you don't find out who you are and know who you are, you're going to be under the influence of someone else. We're in a time right now where Brooke, Broadak, shout out to you. Did you have your E3 live today? I didn't have my E3 live today. I had some green powder though. Shout out to all the people taking that green powder. We had some green powder, right? We're in a time right now where people are realizing that, oh my gosh, I've got a choice to make because it's over. It is over. The Matrix is cooked. I liken it to a boat hitting the iceberg, the Titanic hitting the iceberg. And that story of the Titanic, the captain was in a hurry. It could have been prevented. And sometimes when you're in a hurry to do things, when you're in a rush to do things, you can forget about paying attention to what's actually going on in front of you. And for the longest time, a lot of people have been in a rush. And I've even seen it because I started content creation. Things were very slow. Now things are very fast. The information river is flowing very quickly, or the misinformation river. So it's even harder to wake up right now than it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Because right now, the youth have a different program. And that's why I tell you, the youth have a different program. They've got a different way of seeing the world. You might be like, well, this is odd behavior. It seems odd behavior, but this is what they want for you, for your children. This is going to become a normality because once again, you can do whatever you want. And you can do whatever you want. But what they're not telling you is that a lot of these people who go through these things, as time passes on, they realize actually they start blaming other people. But when it's happening, nobody can tell you anything. And that's why I told you, even though this woman was crying in the documentary and saying, oh, I don't want to do that, But then she said afterwards, I'm going to make it 1,000. So what you're seeing right now with the energy dynamics is that a lot of people might say, you know what, I feel bad about it. But then tomorrow they want to go again. So people aren't learning lessons because you can't learn a lesson overnight. And that's the reason why this woman was saying, okay, it was, it didn't feel good, but then she wants to do it again. Does it make sense? Well, it does, because you see, she hasn't truly awakened to who she is. That's going to take some time. That could take 10 years. So you're dealing with people in the matrix who you can't tell them anything. They're going to live exactly how they want to live. They're going to be on the time they want to be on. All you can do is just watch. People are like, okay, where her family? What do her parents think? You got to remind yourself of the energy dynamics. A lot of the times, parents can't do anything because you are a free being. You've made that choice. There are parents who do everything for their children, but at the same time, if their children incarnate with a specific agenda, all their parents can do is just watch. So you have to remind yourself, people have free will. People have free will. And you can give them all the wisdom in the world. Doesn't matter. They have to do whatever they have to do. And this is what you have to be aware of. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. You can't help people who think there's nothing wrong with them. All you can do is pray for them and wish them the best. So you're going to start to see a lot of people in the matrix do crazy things, outrageous things, things for attention and clout. And you're going to be like, why on earth would they want to do that? And you have to remind yourself that they have certain lessons to learn. All you can do is realize that they will learn whatever they need to learn, but it's outside of your control. You can't tell someone who's an addict to say stop. You have to remind them that they have to find out why what they're doing is not good for them. That's when an addict recovers, right? So you can't tell someone who drinks all the time to say, hey, stop drinking. It's bad for your liver. Doesn't make sense. They have to find out why it's bad for their liver. They might have to go through an operation and say, oh, okay, I got to stop this for my family. So we're in a time right now where you're going to see a lot of crazy things happening on the planet. Because a lot of people, once again, are under the spell and are being controlled. On the flip side, there are many people who are so far ahead. They've elevated. They're in the fifth dimension, baby, raising the frequency. They're on a whole nother plane like they just missed their flight. Right? They've elevated. And it's because they've been on this journey for a long time. They've been on this journey for a very long time. You see, a lot of the times we think that the moment we were born, we've just been on this journey. Some people have been traveling throughout time for a long time, and their soul is a free one. And that's what they crave every single day. So if you are that person right now, all you have to do is keep moving forward to where you know your soul is meant to be, and great things will happen. At the same time, the matrix is cooked. You can get cooked with it, or you can get out of it. You see, we're in a time right now where there is no in between. There is no in the middle. There is no straddling the fence. There is no straddling the fence. There is no, well, I don't know. There is no serving two masters. You can't serve two masters. You're either in or you're out. You're either awake or you're asleep. everything has been split. And a lot of people see this. A lot of people know this. It's reached the point where it's even affected people's lifestyle choices. It's affected where people work, with who people get in a relationship with. All of that is shifting and changing. Because you see, all of these things, even in the Matrix, they show you this fantasy of a perfect couple. Whether it's Taylor Swift with her boyfriend or MGK with that other woman, I forgot her name, but they're going through a divorce, right? Or they're splitting up. You see that. You see a lot of these stories because the whole world is a stage. When Instagram first started, there were couples who were paid to take part in an experiment, and it was all about showing how amazing their relationship is, how amazing their love life is, and you had Instagram couples who were paid, and one of Megan Fox, that's the woman. Thank you. So, one of these people early on, was someone I met in California, right? And his name was something Alvarez. Maybe you can help me out. But I used to skate with him all the time in Venice Beach. But the relationship they were showing on Instagram was like, okay, this is amazing, right? But then afterwards, you realize it was all fake. And this is the reason why a lot of people who really have it, they don't show it. A lot of people who really have that great relationship, you probably don't even know about it because they're smart enough to realize that when you have it, you don't feel the need to show the whole world. When you don't have it, you got to try and convince people that you do. So I had to remind myself, okay, there are things that I have and things that people I know, and I'm like, okay, there's no need for me to post them on social media. I don't need validation. I would like you to think that, hey, Ralph Smart is just diving deep, right? But I'm not here to impress you with a Rolex. I'm not here to take a selfie by a Ferrari. I could do that, right? I'm not here to show you all of these things because once again, it's all a distraction. And a lot of people who are always trying to show you how great their life is, their relationship is. You just had Remy Ma and Papoose, right? Saying things about each other on social media. People are like, okay, Remy Ma and Papoose are this great couple. But this is what happens when you take something private and you make it public. You're only there for people's entertainment. So once again, people with the greatest relationships, you don't even see them on social media. I'm sure you got sisters, brothers, cousins, they don't even have social media. And they're married, they got children, they're happy. But they don't bring their whole life for everyone to see and the ins and outs of it, because all of that creates unnecessary issues and problems for you down the road. So, a lot of people are now realizing, oh my gosh, things aren't what they seem. And the Matrix is cooked. Because a lot of people realize that the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. And this is why you have to be extremely careful with what you see. You have to be extremely careful with the people you idolize. people who are billionaires and all of these people, you're like, oh my gosh. But what they don't tell you is that, what did they do to get there? What did they do to get there? How many people did they have to trample to get there? You see, a lot of people don't realize that it's a cutthroat business. And many people who reach that top in the industry did it not just out of talent, but they did it because they followed Aleister Crowley, do what thou wilt. And if you know what that means, it means by any means necessary. Francis Bradbury, shout out to you. Ralph, please elaborate on going within. What does this look, feel, and sound like? Love your channel, and I've been listening to you for years. Hey, let me give you a Don DeMarco. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Great question. And Deep Divers, I'm here to answer your questions. You know, this is a powerful stream so far. Shout out to everyone who's been here. I'm excited to be here, Deep Divers, to connect with you in live time. This is your show, have your say. Francis Bradbury, shout out to you. Ralph, please elaborate on going within. What does this look, feel, and sound like? Love your channel. I've been listening to you for years. Well, you know, I can tell you about me. One of the ways I go within is to really disconnect from the outside world. You know, there's so many distractions every single day. When you can really turn all of the noise outside off, that's the first start. That's the first step. That's the first start. So, you know, you can meditate, you can spend time in nature, you can really not be a slave to your phone. All of that automatically is going to lead you on an inward journey. Not everyone has to be Buddha or Yoda, right? The force within. But you've got to remind yourself that people are being controlled by their phones. And it's actually changing everything. Because once again, people have addictions. A dopamine hit is a real thing. And many people have a chemistry which has been created by these smartphones, which keeps people up all night to say, okay, I need to see what's going on, right? Has that happened to you, Deep Divers? It's happened to me before. Because you're like, hey, I got to know exactly what's happening. As soon as you wake up, and this is a strange phenomenon, as soon as you wake up, like when you wake up tomorrow, there'll be 1,000 news stories that you don't know about. There'll be a big news story waiting for you. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had seen that at the right time. I'm going to stay up and make sure I can catch all the news. So what happens in that situation? Now you become neurotic. Now people can't sleep. Insomnia is at an all-time high because people literally are on a caffeine high because they're addicted to always being online. And, you know, going within for me, even though I love this technology, sometimes I got to switch it off. I got to turn off the phone. I got to connect. I got to do a little samba, baby. I got to raise the frequency, right? So that's a great question. You know, but for everyone, it's going to be different. You know, there's so many different people who have a different way to go within. But one of the biggest ways is to remind yourself that outside is a distraction. You know, the three monkeys showed you that when you let me shout out to David Tomes in the house. You're most definitely appreciated, David. Thank you so much for being here. Let me give you a round of applause. Thank you so much, David. You're most definitely appreciated. The more you know yourself, the less you fear. Slow motion this side. Say it again, David. The more you know yourself, the less you fear. Absolutely. That's really what going within means as well. The more you know yourself, the less you fear. You know, you've been told to study everything except yourself. And it's all about realizing, study everything, but study yourself first. This is what going within means. It means that you have to know thyself. You know, martial arts, kung fu, jujitsu, all of these forms of combat, they weren't actually created to destroy your opponent. They were created so you can know more about yourself. So UFC, right? This combat sport, mixed martial arts, it's not really designed initially for combat. Even all across China, all across Japan, all of these places with the samurai warriors, it was all about finding out how your body works. Yoga in itself, in its conception, means union. And yoga is one of the best ways to go within. You know, yoga means union. You want to find out about your body. You want to know, feel your heartbeat, all kind of things like that. And every single pose in Ashtanga yoga is literally going to take you somewhere else. You know, yoga is so powerful. That's the reason why it's one of the oldest forms of healing on the planet, because yoga is life. And we're supposed to be knowing about our body, our mind. We're supposed to be developing self-mastery. And this is how you can really go within. You see, the thing is, a lot of people don't have time. David Tomes, thank you so much for that. You're most definitely appreciated. Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. We just started. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. We just started. We're talking about it's over. That's the topic. The matrix is cooked. The matrix is collapsing super fast. Have your say. So, we are in a time right now where so many things are being revealed. So many things are being exposed. So many things are being uncovered. And it's only going to accelerate, because we're in a time right now where the veil is being lifted. Everything that you thought was true is up for questioning. And, you know, you've got to remind yourself, deep divers, that you got to remind yourself, first and foremost, that something is falling, but something is also being built back up. And this was all a lesson for humanity, to not see people as perfect. You see, the truth is, Ralph Smart isn't perfect. David Tomes isn't perfect. Francis Bradbury isn't perfect. Brooke Brodak isn't perfect. Beyond Cycle isn't perfect. That's what it means to be human. But when you have a concept in your mind of perfection, a concept of celebrities who can do no wrong and who are better than you, that's when you're flawed. Because the truth is, everyone bleeds red. And this is what's coming back to the planet, that no one is better than you or less than you. Everybody's the same. And this is the reason why the matrix is cooked, because people are now realizing everybody is the same. People are now realizing that actually I've got to take these people off a pedestal that I put on a pedestal. You've got to remind yourself that everything that's happening right now on the planet is only a symptom. The great Krishnamurti said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." This society, this matrix, is on a life support machine. Beep, 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 beep. It's on a life support machine. It's on its last legs. And that means it's going to do everything it can to hold on. That's what happens. When you're on your life support, you're going to fight. And the Matrix is going to fight. It's going to fight as hard as it can. It's going to fight like you've never seen it fight before. It's going to do things that will shock you. It's going to do things that's going to shock you. Even more outrageous things. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. She did that. You haven't seen anything yet. Because this is what happens when the Matrix is getting cooked. It's going all out right now. People are going to do crazy things. Outrageous things. Because they're trying to shift the whole energy back to what it was when people were ignorant. The problem is too many people are waking up right now. Too many people want something better right now. Too many people right now, they realize the secret. It doesn't mean, though, that it's going to be a smooth ride, because once again, a big war is happening. A big battle is happening. And this is the reason why the African proverb, which says when two elephants fight, it's the ground that suffers. If you don't know who you are, what side you're on, you're going to suffer. Because there's no in between. You're either on this side or you're on that side. People have already made their choice. So we're in a very powerful time of reflection, transformation, and also a time where people are going to spiral out of control. And people are also going to start to speak up. You see, I told you that what's happened symbolically speaking, and I told you, Jay-Z is innocent. Diddy is innocent. Until they're proven guilty. But what's happened is that people have already decided who's guilty, who's not guilty. The mob, the masses, it's all symbolic. Because they're just bringing up what they've always felt. And it shows you that even their audience doesn't respect them. And the reason why is because many so-called celebrities in the Matrix realize time is ticking, that their audience is starting to wake up. Jennifer Lopez, she limits her comments on Instagram. So does Drake. So they can select what messages come and they can reject everything else. Now, when you do this, you block away your audience that want to support you and put a comment, say, thanks, J-Lo. But when you say, I can't even share my comment, now what do you expect the audience to do? Now the audience are like, okay, there's a gap between me and you. And what's happened, the reason why they said this election was an election of the internet is because if you can realize that the people who have the power right now are the streamers, the bloggers, the YouTubers, people on Twitch. These people, you might think, oh, they're nothing. But actually, this is the exchange of power that's happened on the planet. People are no longer looking to celebrities. They're looking to people who are on the internet, who have a podcast. And they're enjoying their show. And that's why I told you, when Trump went on Joe Rogan, I said it's over. Because he's someone who's able to realize that you have to go to the people directly and state your case. Kamala Harris was like, well, Joe, you got to come to me when you're doing all of that stuff. people can now see that actually you don't want to go directly to the people. So she could have had a better chance if she just went on every podcast and say, hey, look, it's me. This is what I think. People say, oh my gosh, you're a human being. But she didn't want to do that. And now the people who are winning are the people who are going to be questioned. Because when Trump went on Joe Rogan for 3 hours, I listened to it. He was getting questioned. He was talking for 3 hours, so he's going to make a lot of mistakes. He's going to say things he doesn't want to say, and that's good because now we can question him. The same thing is happening right now in the Matrix. People are being questioned, and that's a good thing. But people who don't want to be questioned are going to run away. They're going to hide. They're going to do a roadrunner. Right? North Star, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause and a big thank you. Shout out to you. Been rocking with you since my son was in elementary school. Now he's about to graduate high school. Much love, Ralph. Thank you. Hey, you're appreciated. You're most definitely appreciated. So, that's great to hear. That's great to see. And we're in a powerful time right now. We're in a powerful time. Like I told you, the people who are winning right now are the people who are in direct communication with other people, without censorship, without a block of separation. These are the people who are winning. And that's the reason why take notes about what's happening. You see, when you have people in the Matrix, they can't even talk to you. They got to send a message to someone else and put out a statement. That's showing you the Matrix is cooked because people don't even want to talk to you. People you've helped to become successful. People you've given money to, you bought their albums, watched their films. They ain't got nothing to say to you. So this is all symbolic that they can't talk to you because they feel that you're beneath them. They feel like they don't owe you anything. And this is the reason why it's so symbolic that now the people are turning against them because the people aren't stupid. The people, all the people ever wanted was just to feel like they were the same as you. But when you look down on people, it builds resentment. And this is the reason why you're noticing such a backlash towards celebrities because they've looked down on people for so long that now people are looking down on them. There's an exchange of power. So when you saw symbolically Kamala Harris having all the celebrities, Eminem, J-Lo, all of these people, Beyonce, all of these people didn't make a difference because people are like, I don't care. I want to find out who you are. So the Matrix is cooked. Shout out to all of you deep divers. And let me give a big shout out to everybody who's here. Everybody who's diving deep. Twi-Fi Network, shout out to you. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. Shout out to you first donating to the stream, Ralph. Been journeying with you since 2014, doing MS, PhD, and postdocs. Now I'm out healing my soul. Grateful for you, RS. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated, and that's what it's about. For me, it was all about realizing, let's keep this thing going, right? And it's good to see. It's good to see you're still here, deep divers. I hope you're still here. I hope people who were back in 2014 are still here, deep divers, because we got so much to talk about. We got a whole lot to talk about. And this is what it's all about. You see, there are so many people out there who want it right now. There are so many people who want that quick fame. They want that quick success. And for me, when I started this channel, it was never about that. It was about, okay, let me just share my journey, help someone else. And then it came in return. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. You see, the truth is, when you learn the Hermetic principles, when you remind yourself that there's polarity, when you remind yourself that how this whole thing works, there are amazing people out there. You're one of them, right? There are amazing people out there who are doing phenomenal work, and they are the real celebrities. You know, this whole concept of celebrity, being a star, you are stars. You see, Carl Sagan spoke about how you're stardust. Each and every one of us is made out of star material. Each and every one of us is made out of star material. And this knowledge was kept from the masses, and it was only given exclusively to a few people who realized that actually, once you place yourself in the throne, you become a star. But you see, the truth is, everyone is a star. It's just that people have forgotten they're made from star material. And once you realize that actually, wait a second, I'm made from star material, you start acting like the star that you are. You see, carry yourself like the star that you are. And this is what's happening right now. That's the reason why the Matrix is cooked. I'm wise enough to realize that I'm wise enough to know that my audience ain't stupid. I'm wise enough to know the people I interact with aren't stupid. They'll call me out. They'll check me. They'll question me. They'll challenge me. Because I've been putting out so much information that now people are moving into their own power. So the saying is, in a world full of gods, who rules? Everyone is a master right now. Everyone has a seat at the table. That was a slow motion. Slow motion this side. Everyone is a master right now. Everyone has a seat at the table. And this is where the world is heading, because there are so many people out there who are coming back into their power. And isn't it amazing, deep divers, when you meet another like mind who's on their journey? The last thing you want to do is trying to act better than them. That's the last thing you want to do, is trying to undermine who they are. You're like, okay, I respect you, because you know they have a kind of power. And this is what's happening right now. People are meeting other people who have some other knowledge they could learn from. And this is an amazing time, because people are realizing they don't have all the answers. They don't have all the pieces to the jigsaw. And the more you start meeting other people on this journey, you realize we can all come together like Voltron, and it's over. And this is what's happening. And when I started to dive deep, I realized there were other deep divers out there doing their whole diving deep thing. And I was listening. Just like how they're listening to me, I was listening to them. And I realized, oh, I get it. That everyone has a different role to play. And once you find out the role you're here to play, it's over. Dallas Libra, shout out to you. Great message. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. Shout out to everyone in the chat. So we're talking about it's over. The Matrix is cooked. The Matrix is collapsing super fast. You know, one of the things is that, I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people say things don't seem the same. Because you see, the Matrix keeps you in a timeline loop. It keeps you in a timeline loop. And these timeline loops are needed because they keep things going around and around. and you're in a loop. People are now breaking the loop. So Christmas, New Year, and I told you, New Year, January is not the new year. It's actually March 1st. March 1st is actually the start of spring. That's when the new year is. But you've been so programmed, you think January, when everything is dying, is the new year. So when you start to dive deep, you realize that the Roman emperors named the months after themselves. Augustus, August. You start to realize that November should be 9, Novi. Why is it 11? So you realize that things have been shuffled around, and now humanity is in this loop, right? And all of these things which keep us in a loop is coming to an end. This is what the new earth is all about. Traditions are coming to an end, and it's scary because you see, no one wants to break tradition. Not even the cat down the road, deep divers. The cat down the road loves its traditions. It loves to do what it's always been doing. Human beings, what they fear the most is change. Right? What human beings fear the most is change. What human beings fear the most is change. Is not having something that they're familiar with, that they're used to. They don't want to start all over. And now things don't feel the same. Christmas doesn't feel the same. For a lot of people, the holiday periods, the Thanksgiving, all of these things, they don't feel the same because they're starting to wake up to the matrix. They're starting to realize that behind everything is something very sinister. And this is the reason why the matrix is cooked, because people are now saying, wait a second, we got to start all over again. And the amount of people who are ready for it is outstanding. The amount of people who are ready for something better is phenomenal. The amount of people who are looking forward to it is unprecedented. And this is the reason why you're seeing so many things happen. You're seeing new apps being created. You're seeing new websites being created. Because one thing which is very hard to do is suppress people indefinitely. And things are becoming decentralized. That's the reason why a lot of people are looking at crypto. A lot of people are also looking at homeschooling their children. So many different things are happening because they realize something is happening, right? Something has to be ended and something has to be born. So what you're seeing and what I'm seeing is really the end of this cycle as I'm speaking. And it's going to be very hard for a lot of people because even though you're divorcing something that's not serving you, it's been a relationship of codependency. It's been a karmic relationship. It's been a toxic relationship. It's been a relationship where you're fighting each other, but you still need each other because you feel that's the only way you can survive. So old habits die hard, and a lot of people are going to resist as much as they can for as long as they can. But you're going to see it. You're going to see people explode. You're going to see people break down. You're going to see a lot of people get a huge awakening, a huge wake-up call. You know, it happened to me. I was resisting. I'm like, hey, I just want to be plugged up and plugged in. The universe said, no, it's your time to elevate, go to the next level. And when this happens, you can either stay the same or you can elevate. And right now, this is the choice that a lot of people are being presented with. What am I to do? What's the next step? Because you see, the matrix loop kept people doing the same thing over and over again. And what happened is that now people are becoming dissatisfied. They're not happy because they're realizing it's pointless. So we've reached a point, and AI is also helping in this, that human beings have more time to think. You see, our parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, they had to get to work. We're in a fortunate position where AI can do a lot of the work. That means you have more time to think. And when you start thinking, when you start diving deep, you reach two conclusions. And the first conclusion is, why are we here? And the second conclusion is, what am I doing? Right? So those two dynamics, and this is what philosophers like Kierkegaard spoke of. They spoke of the existential vacuum. This is what they spoke of to say, okay, why are we here? And this is what they're talking about. This is what Nietzsche, who said God is dead, was talking about. They want to find out, why are we here? What are we doing? Because this is where you get moved to when you have enough time to think. Now you got to face yourself. A lot of human beings are still not at that level to face themselves, but it's inevitable. They're going to have to face this question. What is the sum of their life? What are they doing? What are they living for? And this is a good thing, because once you find that out, it can actually set you free. Right? But it's over. The matrix is cooked. It's cooked like a piece of bacon in a pot. It's cooked. And I'm just with a cat down the road watching the show, baby. I'm just watching the show because, once again, the cat down the road has his popcorn. It just is like, what's going to happen next, Ralph? Marianne, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Right? So we're in a powerful time right now. And, one of the things I also want to tell you is that you have to be careful as well, because you see, it's in everyone's DNA to expand as much as they can, to become successful, to go to the next level. And you see, what happens is, when people go to the super high level, they want to bring them down. They want to make up stories about them. But there are people who are doing phenomenal things who have reached a super high level. So you have to be careful as well. You have to have discernment. Not everyone who is wealthy is a bad person. Not everyone who has abundance is a bad person. They've earned it. They've worked for it. And that's their birthright. Because you see, a lot of the times what happens is they show you, they build people up, then they break them down. And this is also a program in the matrix. They build you up, they knock you down. Build you up, knock you down. And this is the reason why you have to have discernment, because someone might say something about anybody. They might say it about you. And other people might believe it, but it might be a lie. So you have to be careful of just jumping on bandwagons, because one thing the inorganic ones can do is manipulate perception. And they will have you hating someone who's good and loving someone who's bad. Right? They will have you hating someone who's good and loving someone who's bad. And this is the reason why every new level you get a new devil. Every new level you get a new devil. And that's the reason why during this time, as you are elevating, because you see, a lot of people don't realize that as you are growing, as you move to the next level, you have a different boss. You know, like those old video games. Every new level, you got a different boss you got to beat at the end. I used to play the Super Nintendo Deep Divers, right? Sega Genesis, right? I don't play video games anymore. So you've got to remind yourself that every new level, you get a new challenge. And there are people in your circle, but if you know how the story goes, one of them will always betray you. There are people in your circle, but if you know how the story goes, one of them will always be the Judas. One of them will always betray you. And that's the reason why, as you're growing, you want to start having a smaller circle. As you expand, you want a smaller circle. Because you have to remind yourself that there are people out there who are not your friends, who say they're your friends. And if you don't know how to enjoy your own company, you're going to have people who are going to jump on your bandwagon with ulterior motives because they want your spot. So you have to even protect your energy. I've had to do it. And I'm an OG in the game. But when I first came in, when I was hot, 2017, that time, I had a lot of people. I had a lot of friends. Had a lot of friends, deep divers, right? I had people I didn't even know that were my friends. But I had to be careful because you see, when you're doing big things, you get a lot of attention and people want to be around you. But sometimes it can be more problems for you in the long run. And that's the reason why, you know, as you are elevating to that next level, you want to be more elusive. You don't want to show everything on social media. In fact, you want to show as less as you can, because once again, social media is the devil's playground. Social media is the devil's playground. It wasn't created to connect you together. It was created so you can argue amongst each other. So you can judge each other. So you can criticize each other. And they can profit off it. That's the reason why a lot of these tech companies, the CEOs, they don't even allow their children to use the Facebook app. Steve Jobs didn't even allow his child to have an iPhone. They don't give it to their own children because they know how wicked it is. They know that if a child has this device, it's over because it's going to change their whole outlook on life. They're going to become obsessed. That's the reason why this Gen Z, who is like bored up on technology and all of these things, they don't want to interact with people in real life. You got people who are doing streams for 8 hours. Cat down the road said, Ralph, are you going to do a stream for 8 hours? I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. Most I'll do is about 3, if you're lucky. But I got things to do. But I love to share, but I haven't got time to be 8 hours on the stream. But there are people who are doing that right now because it's a whole different time. And I've had to adapt because I realized that, okay, to get this message out there, I can't be prehistoric. I can't be prehistoric because every new timeline, the energy shifts. Right now, it's all about streaming. It's about, hey, get it up there. Uploading a video, I got to edit it, put it up, takes hours. So I had to learn how to move with the times and say, okay, let's go, right? 5D Abundance. Let me give you a shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. You most definitely appreciated. So I had to keep up with the times and say, okay, let's go. Because you see, we're in a time right now where if you can't keep up with how this thing is moving, your message is going to be lost. Because the internet is accelerating. Things are speeding up. And that means even on YouTube, people who upload videos is good, but then you see someone at the top who's live streaming. You're like, oh, I want to watch the live stream. So I had to learn how to say, okay, I got to be up with the times because things have shifted. And this is also a sign that the matrix is cooked. It's a good thing because you see, now things are happening all at the same time. You might go on YouTube, you might see 5 people who are live streaming at the same time. It's impossible for you to see every single one that you like. The next day, you got another 50 videos to watch. And you got your favorite show to watch. You got no time to watch it. The singularity where things are happening all at the same time. And it's actually a sign that it's over. This is what happens during an end time. This is what happens. Everything happens at the same time. So we're in a powerful time right now. You know, once again, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You know, one message that's very pertinent right now is all about us realizing there's a cost for everything. And many people who had reached such a high level in the matrix, you're now realizing that actually they had to sell their soul to get there. But what will it gain a man to get all the riches in the world, but to lose his own soul in the process? And we're in a time right now where you might get the money, but do you have the soul intact? That's the question. And I told you, you know, we're in a time right now where you can make quick money. There's people on OnlyFans who are making more money than doctors. There are people on OnlyFans who are making more money than pediatricians. There are people on OnlyFans who are making more money than gynecologists. Because we're in a time right now, which is amazing, where you can interact with your audience. At the same time, because of this, you can also get stuck. And I told you about this OnlyFans woman, Lily Phillips, who said, okay, I slept with 100 guys in one day. And there was a documentary which I watched, which is fascinating. And the guy who made the documentary was the perfect guy to do it because he didn't judge her. But he said, okay, how do you feel afterwards? She was breaking down. It was even hard to watch. But then I said, okay, maybe she's turned around. She said, okay, maybe it's not good for me. Then she said, okay, I want to do 1,000 in 24 hours. I said, okay, crazy. Because it's all a sign that when someone wants to do something, even your own friends can't help you. And a lot of people you have around you are not your friends. They might say, well, I'm her personal assistant. You don't have any friends once you go on that path, because everyone around you is looking at you like a breadbasket. And in fact, everything that you make from OnlyFans is feeding other people. Other people are on your payroll. So if you stop what you're doing, they can't eat. So they need you to do what you're doing. And in the documentary, they said, okay, she hasn't even eaten, but she's got to finish the job. I said, oh my gosh, where are her friends? With friends like these, you don't even need enemies, right? So you remind yourself that we're in a time right now where the matrix is crumbling. Jay-Z is innocent, like I said. Innocent until proven guilty. But it's all symbolic that people will say things. People will say things just for attention. And it doesn't matter if it's true or not, but the damage has already been done. And this is the reason why the matrix is crumbling. Because now people are having their own court of law. They're having a court of public opinion. So when they say, hey, people start forming their opinions and judging you, even though you might be innocent. But the damage has already been done. So you have to remind yourself, this is all symbolic, that people now are starting to just say anything. People now are starting to feel, speak about what they feel, not what they know. And it might be true, it might be false. But people are speaking, people are expressing themselves. And for the longest time, they weren't even allowed to do that. They were stopped. They were given a cease and desist. Now people are saying it. So we're in a time right now where the matrix is collapsing super fast. It's an exciting time. Because once again, something new is coming out of this. Something amazing is coming out of this. Something super powerful is coming out of this. But you have to remind yourself that when something is coming to an end in the matrix, you're going to have a big battle. You're going to have a big battle. And that's what's happening. You're having debates, right? You're having people who are doing debates with each other, going back and forth. These are all signs that it's over. Because for the longest time, this wasn't happening. Now we're going to see the truth. The veil is being lifted. Now we're going to find out what's really happening. And now we're going to see something we haven't seen before. So all of these things are symbolic. Once again, what anyone says is up for questioning. We're in a time right now where you're going to be on the hot seat. And you're going to be challenged about everything you say. And this is healthy. Welcome it. Don't run away from it. Because for the longest time, people have shied away from being debated or challenged. And now people are sitting down with other people, talking about things. And let's get to the bottom of it. Let's go. Let's go. Right? So, the Matrix is cooked, deep divers. A lot of people are watching the show. And a lot of people already know that this is just the beginning. So much more is coming. It's not even funny. It's funny, right? There was an old meme of Rihanna saying that, okay, it was like someone saying, okay, here she goes talking about these conspiracy theories again. And then someone says, but you're listening, right? We're in that kind of time where people are really listening. They're listening to Cat Williams. They're listening to alternative information. And this is the reason why the Matrix is cooked, because people are ready for it. And it's not going to stop. It's only going to grow, because with more people getting out there who have their own channel, their own platform, their own podcast show, they're going to start talking about different things. And it's happening. You know, for a long time, the information has been controlled. And now the cat is out of the bag. Is it the cat is out of the bag or the cat is out of the hat? Right? I'm excited. I'm truly excited. You know, once again, it's about time. The music is not the same. If you notice that a lot of the music has become watered down dribble, because this is a sign that the Matrix is cooked. They had to give you and keep you in a loop. That's the reason why even the music was part of a hypnotic program. Same chords. There are certain chords you can use. You can get a #1 hit. 4 chords. They use on all the pop songs. C, something, F, G. They use 4 chords on all the pop songs. Only 4 chords. You can play every single #1 pop song. So there's even a formula that you can use to program people through music to make any song go #1. And this is the reason why certain songs go #1, even though they have no message, because they've tapped into the inner dynamics of the song and the arrangement, and they know what works. It's a formula. But you see, what's happened is now people aren't dancing on the dance floor. People can see through even the music videos. And this is the time for the real artists, which is a great thing, because all of the fake artists, time is up. They had their time for the last few years. But now people are tired of it. If you're not saying something that can help me evolve, I don't want to hear it. If you're not saying something that can help me think in a different way, I don't want to hear it. So the thing is, gangster rap had its prominence, had its rise with NWA, all of these things, 50 Cent, G Unit, all of that's ended a long time ago. The reason why people are pushing for Kendrick so much is because he's like the last one, talking about hip hop specifically, in that arena, who is kind of conscious, right? And that's the reason why he's like him and J. Cole, you know, those two. But after that, in the mainstream, it's over. So there's a whole new space being opened for a new kind of message on the radio, on the sound waves. And you're going to see it. Because everything that came before that, it's over. People aren't listening like they used to. Because the thing is, as an artist, you've got to be original. As an artist, you have to do something which hasn't been done before. A lot of these new artists, they're just copying what's been done before and redoing it. Lazy. You know, all the artists 50 years ago, they could play instruments. They could play a piano, guitar, cello, violin. They could do things. Instrumentation. Quincy Jones, and rest in power to Quincy Jones. He was a mastermind, right? It was only, you know, I wanted to watch a Frank Sinatra documentary, because Frank Sinatra was, you know, one of a kind. And I'm like, okay, I didn't even know that Quincy Jones was producing a lot of Frank Sinatra's hits. And I watched, behind the scenes, Quincy Jones. He was a musical genius. I don't even think he gets the credit he really deserves, but he was someone who knew how to play instruments. He produced Michael Jackson's Thriller, Billie Jean. When he was working with Michael Jackson was at the top. That just shows you how much of a genius Quincy Jones was. Dr. Dre was like, okay, I got to be like Quincy Jones. But the difference is Quincy Jones could play instruments. He was someone who was very different when it comes to music. So that's returning. That's coming back. You're going to see people like Quincy Jones coming back who are going to show you a different kind of music, right? We call it the Blue Note. If you don't know what the Blue Note is, go and check out the Blue Note, right? Chef, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Saying thank you. Shout out to you. You're appreciated, right? So, we're in a powerful time right now. We're in a very powerful time. How are you seeing the Matrix getting cooked right now for you deep divers? How are you seeing it in your own reality? Even me, I had to change my old pattern, because I'm always in the heart of nature. I was in nature so much. There were times when I didn't even do a video indoors for like a year. But you see, even though you're doing something which is amazing, you have to learn both sides. I had to even learn how to film indoors, which I'm happy I do now, because now I've got the balance. So you can even be in nature all the time, but if you don't know how to do this indoor live streaming stuff, you're going to be left behind. So you have to fuse the both worlds together. And that's how you create the balance. But thank you. Let me shout out to House of Intuition, because that's so true. If music is not recharging the heart to feel, baby, away with its head. Absolutely. Absolutely. If music is not recharging the heart to feel, woo, I like that, away with its head, woo. And this is the reason why if you listen to even the Beatles, because I always say, okay, how come the Beatles were the number one band? And I've got to tell you that even the Beatles, just listening to some of the songs, I'm like, okay, they had a lot of emotional range. And this is what I always look for in artists. Okay, what's the emotional range? Can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? A lot of the singers of that generation, Bob Marley, all of these singers, they had emotional range. They were telling you, hey, one love, all of these things. The 80s, right? Billy Idol, all of these people, David Bowie, these people were geniuses. You don't get that kind of sound right now because people don't want to do the work. All of that musical sound back then, it was because people had to learn the music. They had to study the music. And now what's happened is that a lot of people, they get pre-made music. It's what I call fast food. And they arrange it. They haven't done the work. And that's the reason why, that's coming back. That's the reason why the Matrix is cooked, because people are like, hey, how come I always have to go back and listen to Prince? I've got to go back and listen to Michael Jackson. I got to go back and listen to Earth, Wind and Fire. Because the music right now ain't doing it for anybody. How many times do you listen to a song that was made 20 years ago? Because you're like, today's music, it's just here today, gone tomorrow. Because you can't rush greatness. You can't rush greatness. And that's the thing. What people don't realize is that not everyone can be a rapper. Not everyone can be a singer. The people who were, they had a gift. Tupac Shakur had a gift. Now everyone wants to rap. Everybody wants to sing. But even to be a singer, you got to have some talent. Whitney Houston started singing in a choir when she was a child. She had great talent. But you can't just expect to say, hey, I'm a singer, put it on your profile, right? You got to do the work. You got to do the work. It's the same thing as even this content creation thing. And I just always say thanks to that I came up in the first wave of this YouTube thing because I had to learn how to do the work. I had to learn how to film, how to edit, how to set up everything the right way. Now it's easy, right? A lot of people say, hey, I just want to make a video, boom, boom, boom. But the reason why they're not growing is because they don't have a foundation. Because even though right now you got better equipment, everything is better, the technology is better, but guess what's missing? What's missing, deep divers? The juice. They ain't got the juice. They ain't got the juice. They ain't got the it factor. That you can't buy. That's God-given. Slow motion this side. And me and my friend always have that joke that you can have all the fancy things in the world. You can have all the equipment in the world, all the money in the world. But if you haven't got it, the X factor, the juice, doesn't even make a difference. And this is what's happening right now. You have to make sure that you're doing exactly what you came here to do. Because once again, everything right now is very specific according to your true purpose. If you're not in your purpose, no matter what you do, you'll always fail. If you are in your purpose, no matter what you do wrong, you'll always succeed. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. Right? So this is what's happening right now. You see, we've got to remind ourselves, we're in a time right now where people are realizing, as this matrix is getting cooked, we got to be in the right place at the right time. A lot of people might call you, hey, let's hang out. Am I supposed to be there though? What's the energy like? Who are these people? And this is why a lot of people right now are elevating, because they want to be with the right people at the right place at the right time. They don't want to they don't want to get caught lacking. They don't want to be in the wrong energy field, because they're realizing if you are, this is how you get caught lacking. And a lot of people are now realizing there's two different times. You can be on demon time. You can be on angel time. And I tell you, the demon time is, hey, we can do anything we want. You've seen a lot of people lose their lives over the last few years because of that. Because once again, I spoke about it, that this generation has lost so many people. This generation has lost more stars than any generation. And the reason why is because, let me drink some water, deep divers. Getting hot in here. The reason why is because everything is too fast. Everything is way too fast. And this is why, as the matrix crumbles, you have to be careful you don't crumble with it. When you had Amy Winehouse, Mac Miller, Juice WRLD, Little Peep, all of these people, XXXTentacion, these people are still supposed to be here. These Juice WRLD, all of these people are still supposed to be here because once again, they were young, they had a lot of talent, but things were moving too fast. And this is the reason why in these days and times, if you're not balancing yourself out, you're going to get swept away in the wave. You're going to get swept away in the currents, right? Let me shout out to Brooke Brodak. You're most definitely appreciated. My live stream was 2 minutes behind, 2 times to catch up. Hey, You're most definitely appreciated. So, this generation has lost so many people because things are moving too fast. You see, once again, you might be getting the money, this, that, but there's no time to even find out who you are. And the thing is, slowing down, a lot of people, they think that they're going to lose. So the thing is, the only way is to keep on going. And that's why I told you, you might see this generation feel sad about what they've done, but then what happens? They go straight back into it, and they're going to go back even 10 times harder, because you see, there's no time to slow down right now. We're on demon time. That's what a lot of people's mindsets is right now on the planet, that, hey, I got to get it right now. I got to get it as quick as I can. And when you're speeding, you might be going really fast and accumulating wealth and all of these things. And then one day, bam, you get hit in a crash. And this is what's going to happen to a lot of people, because once again, if you don't take time to slow down, you forget that the energies are intense right now on the planet, because once again, the old world is crumbling. The new world is beginning. And this is the reason why so many things are happening right now all at once. By the time you wake up by tomorrow, there's a big story. Big story. Oh my gosh. Then after that, it's chill. Then the next day, big story. Oh my gosh. So we're in a time right now where you're having, every couple of days, you're having a crazy ass story, which is going to pull people apart, divide people. Luigi, is he a hero or is he a villain? Some people say, hey, there was even a story saying that people wanted to pay for his court proceedings. You got some women saying, oh my gosh, you're so sexy. At the same time, some people say what he did was terrible. But people are divided. And anytime you have a division, this is what happens in the Matrix. So you have to be very careful that you don't get caught up in either side. And, you're on the side of truth, not division. Because once again, we're in a time right now where people are so diametrically opposed that even people in your own family might go against you just because of what you believe. You might be a Democrat, they might be a Republican. There's a big war happening. You might want to be in nature, they might want to be in a concrete jungle. There's a big war happening. So you have to remind yourself, people are very sensitive at this time on the planet, because people's reality is getting shaken up. People are doing their hardest to make sure it doesn't get shaken up, but it's happening, and it's only going to grow more. And this is the reason why, in every household all around the world, big arguments are happening. In every household all around the world, there's a lot of things stirring up in the pot, because people are starting to see things in a different way. That guy was only 26 years old, Luigi, but he's already getting these downloads about something. His whole mind is becoming, he's thinking so much. This is what's happening all around the world. This woman, she's only 23. At the same time, she can do what she wants, and you can't say anything. This is the time we're in. So we're in a time right now where a lot of people don't want to hear anything. They've already made up their mind about what they want to do, how they want to live. You have to remind yourself to focus on yourself, because a lot is happening. Dana, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Ralph, my husband and I love watching your show together. You have a lot of great insight and energy. Hey, I appreciate that. And once again, like I tell you, I'm only here not just because of me. I'm only here through the universe's grace. When you remind yourself not a leaf falls from a tree without the universe's permission, not a bird sings in a tree without the universe's permission, not a cat down the road is born without the universe's permission. You've got to remind yourself, deep divers, that, see, a lot of people, they write to me, they're like, hey, I want to start my own podcast. I want to start my channel, but I'm afraid, I'm not sure, I'm stuck somewhere. And you've got to remind yourself that if you don't do it, it's going to be very hard to do it later on. See, as time moves forward, things get harder to do. You got more responsibility. Kids need to be put to bed. Babies need to be fed. You got work to do. You got family to take care of, grandmothers to take care of, grandpas to take care of. You don't have time to start sharing with the world. That's the reason why you got to start now. You got to start young. And that's the reason why I started when I was a young buck, because I realized that we got a lot to talk about. I can't do it all at once. What's happening is that people are just starting and they want to do everything at once. I tell them, you got to be very careful. That's the reason why a lot of people are having internal combustion. They're blowing up because it's too much all at once. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, I've been talking for a little while and I still got energy because I'm pacing myself just like a boxer. I'm pacing myself just like a sprinter. I got a good cadence. And if you can remind yourself that along your journey of creation, because everyone is a content creator, you want to not do everything at once. You want to realize it's a marathon, because this is how you can pace yourself. Like tomorrow we can go again. The day after that, I'll be here again. But it's because I've been doing it at a good rhythm, a good speed. So we're never tired here. Raising the frequency. We're never burnt out here. People say, gosh, Ralph, how come you're here every single day? Raising the frequency. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby, is because you have to pace yourself. And as the matrix is getting cooked, one of the biggest things that which is so needed right now on the planet is learning how to improve your health. If you notice, deep divers, I'm just drinking water. This could be Red Bull. This could be Monster. But you see, I just drink this because it's a little bit hot here. But I don't even need this. What I'm telling you is that you don't need caffeine to keep you up. You don't need Red Bull to keep you up. All you need is H2O. And you'll be good to go. So this is why I tell you, there's people who stream and they got Red Bull on deck. And you see how the body works is that when you are pumping your body with stimulants, the next day is followed by a huge crash. So this is why a lot of people, they become greedy. They want to keep themselves up, even though their body is saying, hey, go to bed. And you never want to go against what your body is telling you to do. So I have to listen to my body and say, okay, we can go, let's go. We can stop, let's stop. But I'm not pushing myself to the limit if it doesn't make sense. But how many people in the matrix are willing to do that? There are people who are willing to do anything and everything just to get there. And this is what's getting cooked. This is what's coming to an end. That you might want it, but it doesn't want you. And it's not meant for you. And the more you chase it, the more it leaves you, because that's not what you're here to do. And a lot of people are going to start seeing this in the matrix. You see, what we're seeing in people's lives is only a split second. We're not seeing what's going to happen in 20 years on from now. We're not seeing that the people we once called heroes are turning into villains. And the people we once called villains were actually the heroes. This is all happening as the Matrix is getting cooked. We're starting to find out who people really are, their true intentions. And the cat down the road has his popcorn, deep divers, right? So we're in a powerful time right now. You know, one of the biggest things we have to remind ourselves of is that we're so powerful, it's unbelievable. You know, if people only used 1% of their focus, only 1%, they would be superhuman. The truth is, most people don't even use 0.01% of their focus. When we begin to tap into the so-called junk DNA, there was a film called Limitless. The actress Scarlett Johansson, and in the Limitless film, great film, they were telling you that, hey, this human being, you can become limitless. You know, they showed it as a pill you take, but the truth is, when she was activating her limitless power, she could travel back in time. She met Lucy, right? No, the film was called Lucy. There's another film called Limitless, but this film was called Lucy, right? So, fascinating film, Lucy. And is showing you that we can do phenomenal things. We can do phenomenal things. It's just that every single day, your energy is being sapped, drained, and stolen in a daylight robbery. Let me tell you something, deep divers, right? Anytime you see some bad news, what is that doing to you energetically? Let me just say, anytime you're seeing some bad news, how do you feel afterwards, right? A lot of people say, I feel terrible. And the thing is, even news stations like CNN, MSNBC, Daily Mail, BBC, they have an obligation to not only give you news, but to give you healing. To not only give you news, but to give you healing. But you see, a lot of the news outlets are designed to drain your energy. And that's the reason why a lot of people stop listening to the news. And that's another reason why the Matrix is cooked. They stopped listening to the news because it was unhealthy for their health. It was unhealthy for their mental health, their emotional health. And even the news corporations don't realize that millions of people have left them because they don't feel good when they watch the news, when they read that story. And like, I have to listen to some news because I got to stay up to date, but I'm in and then I'm out. I haven't got time to be staying on a bad story 24/7. Let's raise the frequency a bit. But we're in a powerful time right now because this is cooked and this is beginning. Right now, a lot of people, once again, are realizing, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul in the process? Right? So, we're in a powerful, powerful time. One of the biggest things I tell you is that, and this is a good thing, you know, we got to get smart. We got to get smart. And one of the things I realize is that, okay, like on these kind of topics, I'll be doing these topics a lot more. And I said, okay, I could do an upload of this video. I could do an upload of this video, but it's not the same, right? I need to go live with this, with these kinds of topics. I need to see what you're saying in live time. I got to interact with you, and it actually works out. So when we remind ourselves the technology wasn't designed to enslave us, if we can use it to empower us, we can give it a whole new meaning. So I always look at this technology as a good thing. Once again, it's changed my life. Why would I ever say something bad about it? And once you use this technology in the right way, it's going to take you to that next level. You see, we've got to remind ourselves that right now, if you can master this technology, you're going to become a master of your reality, because everything is becoming digital right now. And the people who are going to really benefit the most are the people who know how to use these technologies to work for them. I always say, these, like before live streaming Deep Divers, I had to make the video, film the video, edit the video, upload the video, wait for 30 minutes, an hour. Now we're good to go. We can rock and roll. So I used to pray for the day that, hey, we can just go live. Now we can just go live, right? So it's all about how you use it. So it's over. The matrix is collapsing super fast, and I'm here to enjoy the show. But one thing that's made it collapse very fast is that people have underestimated other people. People have felt that other people are stupid. And the thing is, even stupidity has a sell-by date. One day that person is going to become very smart. One day that person is going to read a book. One day that person is going to watch a documentary. So you got to be very careful about thinking other people are stupid. I've met too many people who I know that if they have the right information, it's game over. So you have to be careful. And this is why the matrix is collapsing, because a lot of people, even in the music industry, all of these industries, they thought that other people are sheep and they will always be in power. But what's happened symbolically is that these people are now waking up. These people are now having a mind of their own. And this is the reason why the matrix is falling. Because you see, when you think other people are below you, you forget that these same people below you are the ground that you walk on. And if they stand up, you're not going to have any ground to stand on. And this is what's happening all over the world. It happened in Syria with Assad leaving, been in power for over 50 years. It's happening in the music industry. These entire systems are collapsing very, very fast. So fast, in fact, nobody even knows what to do. Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video. And like I said, we've got to remind ourselves something exciting is beginning. Something exciting is taking place. I'm excited. I'm super excited. And let me shout out to everyone who's here. To everyone who's been here, but I wanted to bring you this message, deep divers, and as time goes on, we'll have even more to talk about. But the Matrix is cooked. Once again, remind yourself that you're going to continue to see more outrageous things. And instead of being mad at it, send people healing, because once again, we're in a time right now where people are going to do anything and everything for attention. People are going to do things just so you can talk about them. And this is a sign the Matrix is cooked. So you have to be mindful that if you're good, you're probably more happier than most people you see out there. I could have played the game. I had chances to do it. I had a lot of chances. Sometimes people say, gosh, Ralph, you got millions of subscribers. How come you only got a few thousand views? I say, that's fantastic. I don't care if only 50 people watch. That's how the whole algorithm has changed. Some people have 1 million followers. They only got 1,000 views because, you see, the internet has changed. My early videos had 6 million views, 7 million views. It's not about the views. It's about, are you okay? How's your mental health? How's your emotional health? Are you still here? A lot of people aren't going to they can't have a 10-year run, 15-year run, 20-year run, 30-year run. They're here today. By next summer, vamoosh, they're gone. So you got to remind yourself that it's the long game that I'm playing. I'm not playing for the here today, gone tomorrow. I'm someone who's already been there, done that. And a lot of people are just tasting a few, they're just tasting a little glimpse of what it feels like. But if you're not careful, it can also swallow you. That same energy, it can go to your head and it can corrupt you. And that's the reason why a lot of people, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'm very happy, very grateful where I am. I always say thank you, universe, because once again, I was just in my backyard not too long ago with a beautiful afro. Right? So, because I'm still here, I always say thank you. But just be careful, because when you really want to chase attention, you start doing things which down the road, it could have disastrous consequences, not just for you, but for your children. And this is what a lot of people don't think about, that we're not just living for ourselves, we're living for our children, and they have to grow up with you. And you got to answer to them. Did I live a righteous life or not? Was I righteous in my actions or not? And this is what a lot of people are running from. But one day, they're going to have to face themselves, and they're going to have to face the Creator. Deep Diver, shout out to everyone who's been here. I just want to say a thank you to everyone who's been here. Powerful show, right? So let's keep raising the frequency. Let's keep raising the vibration. And if you haven't already, join the patreon.com/Ralph Smart for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. A big thank you to everyone who's been on this live stream. I can see all of you right now in the chat. You are most definitely appreciated. Let's continue to raise the frequency. And one love to everybody who's here. Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Let's raise the frequency. Shout out to all of you deep divers. Keep diving deep, keep raising the frequency. Powerful show. Bringing back the 80s, baby.
Yeah, I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. It's a choice. So happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want. It's a choice. Freedom is a must. We have to become the spoon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving. Divers, powerful show. And like I told you, part of becoming your greatest version is to learn another way. Someone said, how come you're not in nature? I'm in nature every single day. I make videos in nature every single day. But I realized for me to go to the next level, I got to learn how to live stream. Because you see, this is why my channel is growing, because I'm able to adapt. So always remind yourself, I'm coming from different angles, not just the uploads, but the live streaming. Now it's game over. Deep divers, shout out to everyone who's been here. Phenomenal show, phenomenal time. I'll be back. One love. Peace.